Well, good morning everyone. All students, grade 6 students, if you can hear me and see my screen properly, please raise your hand. Thank you Salim, thank you Ghaith, Hisham, Ahmed, Muhammad Jabir, Talal, Khalid Ahmed, Firas. Thank you all my students. And now kindly put your hand down so that we can start our lesson. Well done. Salim, Sami, and Ahmed, please put your hand down so that we can start our lesson. Well, anyway, here students, you can see the title of our lesson today. Today, inshallah, my students, we are going to have grammar. Grammar, yeah. Teacher, what is the meaning of grammar? Grammar is the rules that you have to follow to make meaningful and correct sentences. Today, inshallah, students, we are going to study the relative pronouns. Teacher, what is the meaning of relative pronouns? Be patient. Today, inshallah, we are going to know what the relative pronouns are. So let's start. Students, by the end of our lesson today, we are going to achieve these objectives. Today, inshallah, we are going to have only 2 objectives. What about objective number 1? Objective number 1 in our lesson today is to identify relative pronouns, to understand and learn about the relative pronouns. And what about the objective number 2? In objective number 2, students, you are going to write sentences using the relative pronouns. And now I will ask one of you. I can see here Ahmed is raising his hand. Ahmed, you can turn on your microphone and help us recognize and identify the objectives of our lesson today. Good morning, Ahmed. Ahmed, can you help us read the objectives of our lesson today?
Yes, teacher. To identify relative pronouns.
Relative pronouns.
Relative pronouns.
Bravo. Number 2.
Number 2. To write sentences using relative pronouns.
Bravo, Ahmed. Good reading. So, students, today, inshallah, we are going to learn about the relative pronouns. Somebody says, teacher, what is the meaning of relative pronouns? We use the relative pronouns to join 2 ideas together. If you have got 2 ideas, like here, look here, I have got 2 sentences, 2 ideas. Sentence number 1, this is the boy, this is an idea. And also we have got another sentence with another idea. He spilled the milk. What about the word or the pronoun he? He and the boy are the same person. These words refer to the same person, the boy. We can connect or join these 2 sentences into one sentence. We can connect the ideas to make one idea using the relative pronoun. Look here, the boy and he. These words refer to the same person, I mean the boy. We can use the relative pronoun who. And the sentence will be like this. This is the boy who spilled the milk. So, who is a relative pronoun which is used to connect or join the 2 ideas or the 2 sentences into one sentence. Okay? Another example. Look here, this is the cat. This is a sentence. This is an idea. Also, I have got another sentence. It drank the milk. It, yeah, I mean the cat. It and the cat refer to the same animal, which is the cat. We have got 2 sentences, 2 ideas. We can connect or join these 2 sentences or these 2 ideas into one sentence. Using what? Using who? No. who is used for people, but for animals and things you can use which. Look here, this is the cat who, no, this is the cat which drank the milk. So in general we use who for people and which for animals and things. Now I think students, you got the idea of our lesson today. Today we are going to study and identify the relative pronouns to connect ideas or to connect separate sentences to make one sentence. We started with who and which. Are who and which only the relative pronouns in English? No, there are more relative pronouns other than who and which. So what about them? Let's ask this boy. What are the relative pronouns in English? These are the relative pronouns in English. All students listen to me carefully while I am reading the relative pronouns in English. Who, which is used for people, which is used for animals and things, that is used instead of who and instead of which. So you can use that for people and you can use that for animals and things. What about where? Where is used for places. What about when? When is used for time, to refer to time. And whose is used for position. Okay, so the relative pronouns again, who, which, that, where, when, and whose. Now I will ask one of you to help me read the relative pronouns again. It's time for Salim. Salim, you are raising your hand.
I can teach us on Khalid.
Let's give the chance to the one who comes after Ahmed. I will choose and pick you one by one. Okay? Salim, are you there?
Hi, teacher.
Hi, Salim. Salim, yeah, I need your help, Salim, to read the relative pronouns. Can you read them, please?
That, where, when, whose.
Yeah, I think Salim has got a problem with his internet connection. Salim, you can turn off your microphone now, and the chance will go to Hamza.
That's my voice.
Are you there, Hamza?
Yes, teacher, I am here.
Hamza, yeah, can you help us read the relative pronouns again?
Yes, teacher. How, which,
Who?
there,
No, not how. This is who.
who, which, there, where,
That,
when,
that,
where, when, was.
Whose. Okay, so students, listen again. I am going to read the relative pronouns to you. The first relative pronoun is who, then which, that, where, when, and at the end the relative pronoun whose. So now students, let's learn more about the relative pronouns, and let's start with the relative pronoun who. Look here, I have got an example. The writer who wrote this book is German. Here I am speaking about the writer. The writer is a man, so the writer is a person. When you are speaking about persons or people, use the relative pronoun who. Again, somebody of you says, teacher, why do you use the relative pronoun who? Because here we are speaking about a man, a person, the writer. The sentence again, or the example again. The writer who wrote this book is German. Can you say the writer which wrote this book is German? No, you can't, because which is used for animals and things. And that is why we use the relative pronoun who, which is used for people. So, I have a question, and I will ask Ahmed Abdullah Jum'a.
Yes, teacher.
Ahmed, I have got a question. Why do we use who?
Who is used to refer
to
people.
Yeah, who is used to refer to people? Refer to people means that when I speak about people, I am referring to them. So when you refer to people or speak about people, you use the relative pronoun who. So students, when you have got a sentence and would like to use a relative pronoun, ask yourself, I am referring to a person or an animal or a thing. If you are referring or speaking about a person, you have to use the relative pronoun who. Okay, who is used to refer to people. Another example. This is the girl. Girl is a person. Girl, yeah, is a person. So when you are speaking about a person, you use the relative pronoun who. This is the girl who what? Who won the trophy. What is the meaning of trophy? Trophy means the cup. Okay, this is the girl who won the trophy. The sentences again, students, listen carefully. The writer who wrote this book is German. This is the girl who won the trophy. Don't forget and always remember that we use who for people. So now let's go to the next relative pronoun, which is which. Which is on the other side is used to refer to animals and things. Let's have an example. This is what? This is the smoothie. Smoothie, yeah. Smoothie is something like juice or heavy juice. Smoothie is not a person. Smoothie is something. So when you are speaking or referring to something, you use the relative pronoun which. This is the smoothie, who or which? Of course, the answer is which. Why, teacher, do you use the relative pronoun which? Because here I am referring to the smoothie, and the smoothie is something. This is the smoothie which what? Which my wife made. Here I am talking about the smoothie, and here I am using the relative pronoun which. So I have got a question. Now let's ask Ghaith. All students, if you would like to participate in the lesson, raise your hand here so that I can choose one of you. Sami, if you would like to participate in the lesson, raise your hand. Ghaith, good morning. Right, I have got a question. Why do we use which?
Which is used to refer its things,
To things?
or animals.
Animals, bravo, Ghaith. So students, which is used when you speak or refer to things or animals. Here you can see the smoothie, and the smoothie is a thing. What about the animals? Let's have an example. This is the cat. This is the cat who, or this is the cat which? Of course, the answer is which. Why? Because here you refer to an animal. The cat is an animal. Here you have to use the relative pronoun which. This is the cat which followed me. So students, we use the relative pronoun who for people, and we use the relative pronoun which for things and animals. Now students, listen carefully to me. I am going to read the two examples again. This is the smoothie which my wife made. This is the cat which followed me. Smoothie is something, the cat is an animal, and that is why I used the relative pronoun which. Now let's go to the next relative pronoun, which is that. Remember, we used the relative pronoun who for people and the relative pronoun which for animals and things. Here, that is used instead of who and instead of which. That means that is used to refer to people, and also you can use the relative pronouns that to refer to things or animals. Teacher, we can use the relative pronoun that instead of who and instead of which. Yeah, you can use that instead of who and instead of which. Teacher, I need examples to understand. Yeah, let's start. Look here, the writer. The writer is a person. You can use who. The writer who wrote this book is German. You can also use the relative pronoun that instead of the relative pronoun who. This is the girl who won the trophy. You can say this is the girl that won the trophy. So let's go to the relative pronoun which. This is the smoothie which my wife made, and this is the cat which followed me. Here, students, you can replace the relative pronouns who and the relative pronoun which and use the relative pronoun that. Okay, do you get it? Do you get it, students? Do you understand what I am talking about?
Yes, teacher.
Okay, so students, we have finished the relative pronoun who, the relative pronoun which, and the relative pronoun that. Don't forget, we use the relative pronoun who to refer to people, only people, persons, and the relative pronouns which only for animals and things. But that is used instead of who and instead of which. So let's go to the next relative pronoun, which is where. When you listen to where, you think, sometimes you think it is a question word where, which is asking about places. No, here I am talking about the relative pronoun, not the WH word. Here I am talking about the relative pronoun where, which refers to places. I have got an example. This is the house. The house is a place. The house is a place, right?
Yes, teacher.
So when you are talking about places, you can use the relative pronoun where. This is the house where my son was born. This is the house where I live in. When you talk about places, you can connect ideas, you can connect the separate sentences to make only one sentence, and you can use the relative pronoun where to refer to places. This is the house where my son was born. This is the school where I study and meet my friends, and so on. So I have got a question, and now I will ask Hashim Naji. Hashim.
Yes, teacher.
Good morning, Hashim.
Good morning, teacher.
Hashim, I have got a question about the relative pronoun where. The question is, why do we use where?
Where are used to refer is used to refer to places.
Places, yeah, where is reused to refer to places. I have got another example here. Look, the hotel. Hotel is a place that you can reside in if you go on a journey. The hotel where he was staying caught fire. Again, the hotel where he was staying caught fire. What happened to the hotel? The hotel caught fire. And here you are speaking or referring to the hotel. The hotel is a place, and you can use the relative pronoun where. Why where is exactly? Because where refers to places. Students, listen carefully. I am going to read the two sentences again. This is the house where my son was born. The hotel where he was staying caught fire. So students, now you learned about the relative pronouns who, the relative pronoun which, the relative pronoun that, and now the relative pronoun where. Let's go to the next one, which is when. And here I am not speaking about the WH word. When. No, I am speaking about the relative pronoun when. Let's have an example. This is the place where this is by mistake. Okay. Okay, the first example is by mistake. Let's go to the next example directly. Okay, here students, I'll always remember the day. I'll always remember the day. The day is time, and when you refer to time, you use the relative pronoun when. I'll always remember the day when I graduated. So I have a question to you students. I will choose one of you to help me answer this question. It's a time for Muhammad Jabir. Are you there, Muhammad?
Yes, teacher.
Muhammad Jabir, I have a question to you. Why do we use when?
When is used to refer to time.
Yeah, when you speak about time, when you refer to time, you have to use the relative pronoun when. So students use when to connect two ideas or connect to sentences when you speak about time, when you refer to time. The sentence again, listen carefully. I'll always remember the day is time. I'll always remember the day when I graduated. So students, now you learned about the relative pronoun who, the relative pronoun which, the relative pronoun that, the relative pronoun where, and now the relative pronoun when. Let's go to the last relative pronoun, which is whose. Look here, students. Whose is used for possessive. So this is the boy whose leg was broken. Here I am speaking about the boy's leg. The boy has got a leg and his leg is broken, and I am speaking about the leg of the boy. So you can use the relative pronoun whose to refer to his leg. Whose is used for possessions of people and animals. In the first example, I am talking about the boy. The boy is a person. The boy is one of the people. So you can use the relative pronoun whose. So what about animals? Also, you can use whose to refer to animals, possessions. Here I am talking about the cat. The cat whose owner died. This cat had an owner, but the owner died. I am talking about the cat whose owner died. The cat whose owner died left the house. After the owner died, the cat left the house. You can connect or join these ideas together and say the cat whose owner died left the house. So I have got a question, and the question will go to Khalid Ahmed.
Yes, teacher.
Khalid,
Yes.
I have got a question to you, Khalid. Why do we use the relative pronoun whose?
Is used for positions of people and animals.
Bravo, Khalid. So students, now you learn about the relative pronouns. Just to remind the relative pronouns are, look here, from the beginning, the relative pronouns are who, which, that, where, when, and whose. Just skim the relative pronouns. The relative pronouns, the first one is who, which is used for people, refer to people. And the next one is which is used for animals and things. And the third was that. You can use that instead of who and which. And the fourth is where. Where is used when you talk about places, and it is used to refer to places. And the common one is when. When is used when you talk about time. So when used to refer to time. And then, or the last one, whose is used for positions. So now, students, I have got an activity. All students get ready because we are going to do an activity using the word all. Choose the correct relative pronoun. All students get ready. You can turn on your microphones and help me answer this question. So students, are you ready to do this activity?
Yes, teacher.
Well, we have 11 questions. Let's start with number 1. Choose the correct answer. Where, who, when, and what. These are not questions. These are not the WH words. These are the relative pronouns that we learned about today. 1. I know a great place. Great place. This is a place. I know a great place. Why? We can have lunch.
Where?
Let's check.
Well.
Yeah, this is the correct answer. Number 2, Sam. This is Sam. Sam is the man. We're talking about people. Why? Sam is a person. Yeah, Sam is the man who works for the president. Who, which, whose, what?
Who?
Who? Okay, absolutely correct. Bravo, students. Students, don't answer until I finish reading the whole question. Number 3, food. What is imported from other countries is expensive. When you bring food from other countries, you have to pay by dollar. So food here is expensive. The space here, students, if you are not ready to answer or you are sitting in a noisy place, turn off your microphone. You are doing an exercise. Food, what is imported from other countries is expensive. Where, which, what, who. Yeah, look, students, I am talking about food, not talking about the countries. I am referring to food. And the food is thing, it's a thing. So food is which or where? Which. Food which is imported from other countries is expensive. Number 4, the cookies what you baked are really delicious.
Which.
When, where, which, or why?
Which.
Which. Yeah, this is the correct answer. Bravo. I visited my uncle. What lives in a different city. Who, whose, what, where. Wait, students, be patient. Wait, students. Here, some students will get confused. Some students think that we are talking about the different city, and some students will think that we are talking about my uncle. Read again and see, think. What do we refer to? Do I refer to the uncle or the city? I visited my uncle, lives in a different city. Here I am talking about my uncle. My uncle is a person. I visited my uncle. Who or where?
Who?
Who? Bravo. Number 6. Do you know anyone what knows why there are no penguins at the North Pole? When, where, who, or which?
Who, teacher? C.
Who, because we are talking about anyone. Do you know anyone who knows why there are no penguins at the North Pole? Bravo. Number 7. I want to borrow the book. What you bought last month? Which, where, who, or whose?
I want
Where?
to
Where?
Here I refer to the book. I refer to the book. I want to borrow the book.
Which?
Which you bought? Why which? Because we are talking about the book. So students, here let's go to number 8. My house. My house what? Is very big, is very cold. Now you are talking about the house. You refer to the house. My house. Where, when, what, or which?
Where?
So, look here.
Yeah.
Is the house here? We consider it something or a place. Try to choose where and try to choose which. And
Teacher.
try
Teacher.
to, yeah.
Teacher, it is which because we cannot say my house is very big.
Yeah, bravo Ahmed. So some students say, teacher, now I will get confused if the house is which or where. So choose where, read, choose which, and read again, and look if the sentence makes sense or no. Let's try which. My house, which is very big, is very cold, or my house, where is very big, is very cold. I think where, if you choose where, it will not make any sense if you choose where.
Yes. Yep.
So what is the correct answer, students?
Which, teacher?
Wait.
My
Which?
house is very
Makes sense.
big.
It's very cold, bravo Ahmed. If you choose which, yeah, if you choose which, it will make sense. It will be meaningful. Okay, so let's try which. My house, which is very big, is very cold. This is the correct answer. Bravo. Number 9. Sydney is the place. Look, here we are talking about Sydney. Sydney is the capital city of Australia, right?
I don't know.
Yeah,
Europe.
Sydney is the capital city of Australia. Sydney is the place what I established my first company. Established means started. Sydney is the place who I established my first company, or Sydney is the place where I established my first company, or Sydney is the place what I established my first company. Which one is correct?
Teacher,
Where?
Where?
Where? Yeah. Sydney is the place where I established my first company. Bravo. Number 10. Can you find the teacher what you talked to this morning? Whose, who, where, or which? We are talking about a teacher, a person. Who?
Who, teacher? Who?
Yeah. Because we are talking about the teacher, and the teacher is a person. Can you find the teacher who you talked to this morning? Bravo, absolutely correct. Now, students, we have got another activity. It's a live worksheet. Read and choose the correct answer. Choose the correct relative pronoun. The relative pronouns here that you can choose from are who, whose, or which. Number 1 is done for you as an example. The horse which. Why which? Because we are talking about an animal. The horse is an animal, so the correct answer is which. The horse which was usually very calm started to run. Here, students, let's go to number 2. All students, now it's your time to turn on your microphone and participate doing the activity. What about number 2? My father is a person. My father what? Didn't want to buy a dog, is now very happy. My father who, whose, or which?
Who?
My father who, yeah. Why who? No, why which? Which is incorrect because we are talking about a person. Your father is a person, okay? When you talk about people, use the relative pronoun who. My father who didn't want to buy a dog is now very happy. Number 3, Mrs. Miller, what has been working all day is exhausted. Exhausted means tired. Mrs. Miller, who, whose, or which?
Who?
Who, yeah. Mrs. Miller, who has been working all day, is exhausted. Number 4. Elizabeth tasted the coffee. Elizabeth tasted the coffee. What was very hot? We are talking about the coffee, not Elizabeth. We refer to the coffee. So, Elizabeth tasted the coffee. Who was very hot? Whose was very hot, or which was very hot?
Which?
Which was very hot. Excellent. Bravo. Number 5. The boy, look here, the mom is pregnant. The boy what? Mom is pregnant, is very happy. Who, whose, or which?
Whose?
Whose, yeah, whose mom? The boy, whose mom? Yeah, whose is used for possessions, okay, for possessive. The boy whose mom, the boy whose money was stolen, the boy whose lunch bag was lost, and so many examples. The boy whose mom is pregnant is very happy, and this is the correct answer. The next one, Arthur. This is Arthur. Arthur, what birthday is today, is making a party. Arthur, who birthday, whose birthday, which birthday?
Whose?
Yeah, this is a possessive sentence, and here we use the relative pronoun whose to refer to possession. Arthur, whose birthday is today, is making a party. Okay. James, the next one, James Branson, what is a famous scientist, discovered a new medicine? We are talking about James Branson, who is a famous scientist. What is the correct answer? James Branson, who is a famous scientist, whose is a famous scientist, or which is a famous scientist? Of course, whose is incorrect, because this is not possession. So what do you think is the correct answer? Who or which?
Who?
Who? We are talking about James Branson. He is a scientist. He is a man. When you are talking about people, use the relative pronoun who. James Branson, who is a famous scientist, discovered a new medicine. The next one. For dinner, I ordered a pizza. What was delicious? Here I am talking about the pizza. The pizza who, the pizza whose, the pizza which was delicious. For dinner I ordered. Which. For dinner I ordered a pizza which was delicious. By the way, don't say pizza, say pizza. Okay? It's pronounced like S sound, pizza. The next one. Susan is a girl. She is this a teacher, I think. Susan, what is very clever, solved the problem. This is a student. Susan, who is very clever, whose is very clever, which is very clever. What do you think is the correct answer? Students, we are talking about a girl, we are talking about people. When we talk about people, we use the relative pronoun what? Who. Susan, who is very clever, solved the problem. The next one. Tom was very proud of his car. This is Tom and this is his car, and Tom is proud of his car. We are talking about Tom or the car, we don't know. Tom was very proud of his car, was new. Now, I am sure we are talking about the car. Tom was very proud of his car. What was new? Who was new? Tom was new? No. Whose was new? No. Which was new? We are talking about the car. The car is a thing. So what do you think is the correct answer, students?
Which?
Which? Tom, anyway, if you are confused about your answer, use who and read and see if it makes sense or no. Let's read it. Tom, who was very proud of his car, who was new? No, it doesn't make sense. Who was new? No. So let's try which. Tom was very proud of his car, which was new. Yeah, it makes sense. Now the sentence is meaningful. It's correct. The next one. Richard. What? Baby is always crying. Is terribly tired. Now I am sure we are talking about the father. Richard is the father and this is the baby. Richard, what baby? Who baby? Whose baby? Which baby?
Whose baby?
Whose baby? Yeah. Now I am sure you know when do you use the relative pronoun whose. Whose is used for possession. Okay, for example, this is Ahmed whose car was stolen yesterday. This is the father whose son is the best in the class, and so many examples. Yes, Ahmed?
We cannot use whose after is, right? Or
After is?
yes, we cannot write like we say chosen whose is very clear.
No, you can't. No, you can't use a verb after whose, but you can use a noun. Whose car, whose baby, and so many. Okay, so let's go to the next one. Cindy is cleaning the house. What was a bit dirty? Cindy is cleaning the house. What was a bit dirty?
Which?
Cindy is cleaning the house, which was a bit dirty. We are talking about the house, and this is the correct answer. Bravo. So the next one. Mary, this is Mary, what loves reading books, went to sleep very late. We are talking about Mary. She is a lady. It's a person. Who loves, whose loves, which loves?
Who?
Yeah, for people, use who. Ronald caught a green fish. Ronald caught a green fish. Was very small. Now we are talking about Ronald or about the small fish?
Small fish. Green fish.
The small fish, yeah. So Ronald caught a green fish.
Which
was very small. Bravo. This is my neighbor. Dog is very big. We are talking about the dog, not the neighbor. Who dog? Whose dog? Which dog?
This is my neighbor.
So one of you says which. Some of you says which. So let's try if it is meaningful or no. This is my neighbor. Which dog is very big? Or whose dog? Whose dog? Yeah, this is the correct answer. If you have got a noun, use whose. This is my neighbor. Whose dog is very big? The last one. My cousin, what, is only 10 years old, is a famous violinist.
Who is only 10 years old?
My cousin, who is only 10 years old, is a famous violinist, and these answers are all correct. Bravo, students, for your participation in this activity. I think we are out of time.
Yes, teacher, only 5 minutes.
Okay, so students, let's finish this lesson next week, inshallah, on Sunday, because we didn't finish the relative pronoun. So this is the end of our lesson today. See you next week, inshallah. Have a nice weekend. See you and goodbye.
إن أعجبك الفيديو لا تنسى الإعجاب والاشتراك في القناة.